My name is Mike Cassidy, and I am one of the filmmaker hosts here at the Garden State Film Festival. It is our 24th annual festival this year, and we are celebrating from March 26th to the 29th in 9 different venues across Asbury Park and Cranford, New Jersey. This year, we have over 200 films from various different countries that we get to watch, and I have the pleasure of speaking with the folks behind Saverio, Ellen Ansui and Roberto Mendina. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys.
So
Hello, thank you.
nice to be here.
Of
Thanks for having
course, yeah, absolutely. Ellen, you are the director and writer of the film, and Roberto, you are the title character, Saverio. I knew
Saverio.
I knew I was
You
gonna do
got it right.
it once. Thank you for joining me, and if you'd like to give a brief little pitch of your film that you're going to be showing.
Sure. Yeah, so this is a kind of a quirky dramedy. I call it a coming of aging dramedy about a young, very ambitious woman played by Quincy Cho, who she's on her way to a big networking party. She's late, she's rushing, she makes a quick stop at a convenience store, and when she gets back in her car, there's an old man who's been abandoned in the front seat. So now she's got to deal with this old man.
And Roberto, you were the old man left in the seat. What was it like playing this part for you?
It was great. I've enjoyed it so much. It's a great story in terms of bringing to our attention a problem that is happening to everybody. We're all aging, and sometimes people have no resources to take care of their elder, and a lot of people are suffering, and the that's what the movie is about, and I enjoy playing the character tremendously. It was a great experience.
I thought your performance was fantastic. Being able to watch this film earlier.
Thank you.
We're gonna keep it pretty smoky. Like we're not gonna give too much away. But at the end of the film, there's a statistic that's brought up. If you wanted to talk about that, perhaps, and why you felt that now was a great time to make a film like this.
Well, personally, for me, I experienced something like this and it haunted me for many, many years. And I wrote a script about it right away, but I didn't do anything with it until I started caregiving for my dad. My sisters and I were dealing with him after my mom passed unexpectedly. And we had a lot of resources when it came to his care. He was a veteran. He had resources from that. He happened to have long-term care. He was living with my sister. But even still, we found it extremely challenging. And I was thinking, like, how do people who don't have resources take care of their elderly? And then I remembered this film that I wrote that, touches on that. So I thought, this is very prescient. This is now. I need to take action and make this film now. And not unsurprisingly, in the festival circuit, it's been received very well, both by young people who relate to the other lead character played by Quincy Cho, and people who are older. So and of course people in between. It's something that everybody can relate to, and but it also shines a light on an issue that a lot of people don't know about. It's a form of elder abuse that is, kind of unknown. And it's called granny dumping, is sort of the slang that sociologists coined about, I don't know, in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. When I was watching and saw, I related to Quincy's character May, and it was as soon as I was like, it's always when you're in a rush to go to somewhere when stuff like this happens. I also did relate to a lot of people, like friends of mine and stuff, haven't gone through these sort of things, but I think that a lot of people surprisingly have. Me personally, I was helping take care of my grandmother, and I went through the same kind of difficulties, realizing like there should be easier ways to get help with this sort of thing. And so I think this is a very powerful message for people like me who have experienced it. And I do think that folks who haven't will get a kind of a different vantage point. of what people go through on a regular basis.
I certainly hope so. And, we try to do it with humor as well. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Roberto, what was your favorite part of making this film?
Actually, many things. First of all, to work with Ellen, who's a good friend. We met many, many, many years ago. We did our masters in acting together. We have an MFA from Rutgers, from New Jersey, by the way. We went to Rutgers in '85. We met, and we were classmates. So many years back later, I went back to. I stayed in New York. She stayed in New York for a while, I think. Then I went to Mexico, and then I stayed there for probably 10 years, 12 years, and then I came back in 2004, and then we met here in LA. And then anyway, I saw a post about the film, and I told her, hey, I know some stuff at long-term care. Maybe we can get some money from insurance companies. So we got together for lunch, and we've seen each other over the years. We never worked together. And that day she said, well, why did you audition for the role? And I said, well, you told me I was too young. She says, no, you're not too young. Not really.
Well, in fairness, I said, can you play old? And you showed me a picture of one of the acting jobs you had recently.
Oh, yes. There is a movie that's coming up this year, actually, in which I have a big beard, white beard. And she said, oh, I love it. We didn't use any of that, but anyway. So the privilege to work with Ellen, my first scene partner in acting, my acting life. So it's pretty cool, And also, after I went home, she sent me the script, And I tell you, what I loved was the comedy at the beginning. I mean, it flies. You are engaged immediately, with the situation. So I love that. And then, of course, you got deeper and deeper into the pain. It's endearing more than pain. It's very nice.
I want to ask about Rutgers. When are you guys local to the Northeast New Jersey area? Was it like going to the state school, or did you come from a different part of the country?
Well, for me, I'm from New York, so it wasn't. Yeah, but I had been living in New Jersey with my sister, who's been a Morristown resident for, gosh, I don't know how long, a long, long time. So it was sort of my local school at the time. I think of myself as a New York Jersey girl.
We're happy to have you. Yep, you're admitted as far as I'm concerned. Definitely Jersey girl. And Roberto, what about you?
Well, I have a degree in economics in Mexico, but before I finished, I said I want to be an actor because we created the theater group in the university. So they kicked me out of an acting school in Mexico because I was late for a rehearsal. It was a technical rehearsal, but anyway, they kicked me out. And I had met a friend from that her sister studied at Rutgers with Bill Esper. So they got me an audition. I never had auditioned in English before, and but they got me in, and there I was, my MFA for 3 years in New Jersey. Do
you guys still support the Scarlet Knights?
Oh yeah, you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
The Scarlet Knights. Now they're playing okay. When my time, they were horrible.
I went to the University of Maryland, so we're kind of rivals now. So the next time we play you guys in football, we should make a bet or something. If Maryland wins, I get to be in your next film.
That's funny.
So tell me a bit more. Roberto, you mentioned right before we cut into the interview that you actually met someone that is the name of your character in real life, and you seem pretty excited about it. So if you wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I was just recently. I went to Mexico near Cancun for New Year's, and there was a guy there who was working at the hotel, and his name is Saverio, So I said, oh my God, and I told him all about the movie and everything, and then I came back, and then Ellen sent us a picture of a license plate that says Saverio as well. I don't know. It's weird. That was the first time I heard that name, and then all of a sudden,
it's everywhere.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. The name is actually my grandfather's name. He's from Sicily, and it was his name, but it also is a Basque Spanish name. And the reason I loved it so much was not only was it sort of a, a nod to my grandfather, but in Spanish it translates to a new home. And
Mm.
that resonated for me.
That's kind of spooky how on brand for this film it is. Go ahead.
No,
Go
can I
ahead.
tell you something about, you know, it all happened very fast. Like, I did the audition and the callback. She made me do everything, the whole
I was
process.
gonna say, yeah, for an old
You know,
friend, putting you
even though
through
we're
it.
friends. So okay, but anyway, 1 week we started shooting. Ellen's dad passed away 1 week before, and I called her and I said, "Hey, are we gonna, postpone the shoot?" No, no, no. I'll see you in San Francisco, whatever it was. And I go, okay, And then I did the part, and then I was using one of Ellen's father's shirts in the film, you know. So I mean, the whole thing was so unique and so wonderful, Like we were paying tribute to him, So it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's
Ellen, I'm
nice.
really sorry to hear for your loss. I'm sure your father is very proud of the film that you were able to make.
I am.
Um, Learning this though was making this film somewhat therapeutic for you.
Well, I would say from the standpoint, not what you think, more from the standpoint of just making a film. It's like giving birth, It is an enormous feat. At a certain point, you're making a short and it's so much, you think, why don't I just do a feature because it's just so much. But so from that standpoint, yeah, it was cathartic. And but my dad, he just, I knew he was rooting for me all the way. In a weird way, I felt like he passed before the movie was being shot because I was worried he was going to die during the shoot. And I feel like he gave that to me as kind of a, don't worry, you can do your
You
work.
can do this.
He was very supportive, and he was so sweet. And he thankfully went very quickly and peacefully. We were really lucky. He had a terrific long life, and he was just a pleasure to be with. So it worked out in a weird way. It was kind of a relief.
I understand that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that message with us. And I'm sure now that we are aware of what else is going on behind the scenes, I'm sure that the audiences at the festival will appreciate it all the more for having that information.
Mhm.
What other projects in your past do you think helped you create this film?
Well, I will just say in general, working with Roberto and Quincy in the leads, I come from an acting background, even though I've just been mostly writing for the last 20 years,
Mhm.
doing a little acting here and there. I honestly think that acting prepared me most for this film because I can, enter the world of the imaginary circumstances from an emotional point of view, and I can communicate that with my actors in a way that helps them, express and just get into the emotions of the character. I think we, had a common language, so that first and foremost was really the best preparation because it is the first time I have directed, and
Wow.
it's a group effort. Everybody is pulling their weight, whether it's with the camera work or the set decorations or the costumes. I mean, it just takes so many people who come together for, what my vision is. So I don't know. I think, communication just in general is what prepares you to run a set and try to get everybody to bring their best game to it. I mean, it's an experiment, right? I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. We were lucky. We had many challenges with weather. It was just blazing hot, and we managed to move through it. Everybody with grace and humor. So I think we were very lucky.
I could definitely feel that energy through the screen while I was watching. We are unfortunately at the end of our time together. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me tonight. My final question for you both, will you be able to join us this year at the festival?
Yes, I will be there, and I will be at the screening, which is on that Sunday, the 29th at 3 p.m.
I gotta say that. That's my line.
That's your line.
That's my line. Roberto, will you be able to join us too?
I don't know if I'm going to. I'm gonna try actually.
Okay, if you're not going, I'm not going. So,
Oh, okay. No, I
Hey,
really
come,
want to go.
Joe.
Huh?
Come.
Of
That's what I'm
course.
saying.
Yeah. No, I think the dates are perfect for me. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Awesome.
if I can, I'll go.
But thank you once again, and congratulations on being accepted to our festival. We're very lucky to have you guys. That is, for everybody watching, that's Saverio on Sunday, March 29th, block TA16 from 3 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. Thank you once again. I can't wait for everybody else to get to watch and experience your film, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing both of you in March. Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.